Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to LEGO Space. So today we are here with the finished mock build of the Ecto-1, and let me tell you, this came out awesome. 100 times better than the last mock that I did of this car, for quite a few reasons. Um, One of the reasons is that we have more detail, and the doors are much better on this version than they were on the last one. The hinges much sturdier. The whole build just felt really nice. Definitely more of a mature feeling of the overall build. Subbed in a lot of new parts on this one, and made a lot of changes. Added a lot of detail. So some really cool stuff. The car looks absolutely fantastic. All the detail up top. Of course, there were some things that I changed from the mock, just a few little things that I felt could be a little bit better here and there. Not too much, though. The overall mock went pretty good. One thing I did run into, the only problem I ran into, really, was in the engine compartment. And the issue that I was having was there's this kind of sloped piece right here. Well, they had that on the other side, and my issue was it was really pinching the battery cables over and kind of making the negative terminal cable popped up a little bit, and it was interfering with the hood closing flush and the air cleaner on the engine here. The intake sat up too high originally, and the back of the filter housing was actually hitting on that piece right there, and also with the front part of the intake, it was kind of hitting in this area. So I actually lowered that and got all that to fit well, but then the hood still wasn't closing right, and then that's when I realized that the battery cable was another issue. So I went in, took that slope piece out, actually put a edged tile down in there, so that way that's not just an empty spot. It's still full, looks really good, and there's plenty of room for the battery cables, and the hood closes really nicely. So a couple things that just weren't quite working right with the original mock, but nothing too crazy. That was really my only issue, other than just a couple assembly processes on the interior of the car. Just had some issues where I had to take a sub-assembly halfway apart, put some of the stuff together on the car, and then finish the sub-assembly on the car. But awesome mock overall. Tons of detail. The front of the car looks fantastic. I love the new way of doing the headlights and having the gray minifigure heads behind these lights down here. That looks a lot better. And then all of the details up top. You guys can see the light bars are actually much more of an in-depth build. A lot of pieces. A lot of trans blue pieces, slope tiles, one by one and 1x2 plates, and some gray tiles and slope tiles, and then even the kind of the replication of like the rotary lights in there, used with some 1x1 round tiles underneath the blue trans tile. Really cool stuff there. One of the other things I changed was the mount for the antenna cable here. The mock had you actually attaching it to this support pole right here, and it just didn't look very good, so I kind of went back to the original kit and kind of saw where it was placed, and kind of had to re-engineer this little area here to make me a post where I could connect that, solve that problem real quick and easy. But yeah, guys, the top detail is really nice. Now, of course, we don't have the playability like with the original kit. The stuff can still move. These sensors can move from side to side. They cannot do a full rotation anymore because they are a prototypical length now. The one from the sets only have you use 2 of these Technic pieces. The mock we do 3 for full length. And then this little radar back here, that's been done in recolor and is still movable. You can get full rotation out of that part, but all that looks a lot better. It just doesn't move when the car rolls back and forth. None of that stuff moves anymore, which that's fine. Not a big deal at all. It looks fantastic. I showed you guys the inside of the car, and we do have our little Stay Puft marshmallow bag in the front there. Showed you guys a lot of that detail. We won't talk too much about that. I do have my custom made ghost trap in here. I think I showed this off on the first project. I kind of went and actually worked off of pictures from the real one, from the movie, and try to make something that looked a little bit better. Roller skates, some of the more chrome painted tiles for some shiny bits, the red light, stuff like that, and then of course the foot pedal to operate that. And then we look in here and you guys can see the gurney with the packs on it, which is super cool. Now the cords, they're the whip pieces that are actually being used for the cables to the gun part of those packs. Those get a little hung up, and the packs are slightly tall when you go to pull them out the back door, but it's nothing terrible. Everything does fit in there really nice. It racks in there really nice. The Gurney way works perfectly on that and really adds to the detail in there. Super cool stuff. And then I just set my ghost trap on the floor in there. Fits in there. This mock does give you instructions for a ghost trap that fits into the back, and it's actually a little bit smaller. I built mine just a tiny bit bigger. You guys can see the back of the car looks fantastic. Light bars, all the lights on there, everything just looks awesome. Back door still functions perfectly. We'll get around to the other side. Get you guys sit down for a second here. Get the car flipped around. Alright, there's the other side. You guys can see we have the blue tubes and then the other little cord there. All that works really well. You guys already seen the door functions on this side, seeing more of the detail in there. And then we'll kind of show you the gurney. The door build's a lot nicer now. We don't have that arched piece in there anymore. And then we do have those little slope pieces to help glide this out. Like I said, they get a little hung up. And my only complaint about the gurney is these foldable parts are not they're okay if you want to kind of set the gurney out like that, but these do not have enough strength where they hook into here to hold this up. You almost need like a clicking system, like how these supports for these packs are, something that you could actually click into place. So when you slide the gurney fully out, sadly those cannot hold the whole thing up. But you can get the gurney out, set it down with the packs. All the packs are built exactly the same. You guys can see those red details in there. And then the actual gun part, which has been takes an original gun piece, some type of a laser looking gun, adds a couple other parts to it to make it look really cool. The packs are a fairly simple build and they look really awesome. The gurney and the packs are something that's really cool to have along with everything in the car, along with the car itself. This whole thing is a really cool build to have, and looks really cool when it's in there. You guys can see the gurney way in there. I don't know how close I can get with the focusing, and you still get a good sense of like all the some of the machines they have in there and some of their items. And the gurney way shows really nice, separated from all that. So yeah, guys, it's really cool. The gurney's kind of a neat, unique build. Like I said, my only complaint on that is I wish these ends, when they were folded down, I wish they were strong enough to support it, but it's too much weight. But like I said, you can pose it at the end like it's getting pulled out, which is still pretty cool. You do kind of have to tilt it up and in a little bit. And like I said, they're a little tight, but they do fit nicely. You guys can see the gurney just rolls right in there. Goes in there pretty nicely. It's pulling it out. Those packs get kind of caught on some of the other details, but honestly, no complaints there. It's super cool to have that. And then you can look in there and actually see all the packs on the gurney through the windows. On this side, you guys can see it sitting there. So I mean, that's just super cool. Really, really, really like how all that looks. And then of course, the other side here did save a couple things from the original build, like these tanks here. The long green tank on that side. Basically everything else was changed quite a bit as far as all the up top detail. Even these are mounted differently. These other blue lights are mounted differently from the original kit. One of the things that I did change on the outside from the original mock is they had you building a different style door handle. I kind of prefer these handles from the original set. They're nice. They're a 1x2 plate with that clip extension on the side, and they're really good and rigid, and you can actually grab onto them. You don't have to worry about those falling off or anything. The other handles were like a two-part thing, and I feel like if you went to pull on it, one of the parts would come out very easily, so I just stayed with the original style handles, and I like how they look a little bit better. So but yeah, guys, that's it for the Ecto-1. No outside steerability anymore where this little beacon is here. If you guys remember from the original build, that was actually where you steered the car. That's no longer a function. The steering wheel is still connected to the rack down there, so you guys can see as I move the wheels, the steering wheel still moves, so you still get that bit of realism. But if you're just rolling the car around, you do have to position the wheels by hand, which is fine. It's it's more of a static piece than it really is a play piece now. So, but it looks awesome. I mean, you guys, I love this car. Like, I'm a huge fan of this car. Clearly, as you guys know, huge fan of the Ghostbusters movies, and it's really cool to go through so much time and effort and have something that looks this cool and this accurate to the original version. So I'm really, really happy with it. Really happy with how it came out. Just so much detail. Even with the modification of lowering the air intake on the engine, The engine still looks fantastic. No love lost there. Everything looks really nice. And we solved a couple issues, so now the hood can open nicely, the hood can shut nicely, so took care of some things there. Like I said, other than that, there really wasn't any major issues in this build. Like I said, just a couple little things that were a little bit better if you built them on the car than off of the car. But the hood and the engine scenario, that was the only thing that really gave me some issues and weren't really following the mock instructions that well, as far as like the fitment, how everything was supposed to fit, just wasn't really fitting right. So but everything else was great. Like I said, just a couple little mods here and there. Of course, I'm going to make changes. If you guys have been watching this channel, rarely do I ever follow actual Lego instructions, and when I am on a mock, of course I'm going to make more changes. So that's just kind of how picky I am with some of this stuff. But you guys see, I end up with a really nice, super original. Even though it's somebody else's mock, I still made some nice changes to it to really make it my own rendition. And yeah, guys, just super cool. Really excited. Next step is the Ecto-1A. So we will be doing the version of the car from Ghostbusters 2. And I think eventually, probably later this year, early next year, I'm going to try to get 2 more of these kits, because I do want to do the Afterlife version. And then, of course, some of us that are big Ghostbusters fans, we know the filming for Firehouse is happening right now, and it's you get to see the car basically in the Afterlife setup, but clean. And I'm trying to think of a few ideas to kind of up the ante on the old look of the Afterlife version. So a couple things in the works yet, but I am going to be after 2 more of these sets and have a little bit more fun. So eventually we'll end up with 4 versions of this car, which I'm completely fine with, because I am a huge fan and I love this car. This is probably my favorite movie car. I do love the DeLoreans from Back to the Future. That would be probably my number 2 car, but this is hands down my number 1 all-time favorite movie car. I know there's, for some of you, there's probably way cooler movie cars. Of course, I'm a huge Fast and Furious guy, and those cars are awesome. But as far as like a classic movie goes, and just a car that really stuck with me through my childhood and growing up, this one really holds a special place in my heart. So that's why we're putting so much time and effort into these cars to make them look cool, add details, and all that good stuff. Before I forget, one other thing that we did add was even have some exhaust on here now. You guys can see the dual, single pipes, but 2 on each side, so dual pipes. Just another little nice piece of added detail that does not come on the original set. So that's really cool to have some exhaust. And those are actually more of a Technic build, and they're built really well and hung up on there really well. So those are pretty sturdy, which is nice. Nothing too delicate on this other than, some of the little details. This build back here on the back roof line is a little iffy. You don't really want to grab around there too much. But the car itself is a pretty sturdy build. Nothing I'm overly concerned with falling off or anything like that. So, but yeah, guys, really hope you enjoyed the Ecto-1 build, and hopefully you are excited to see the Ecto-1A build and kind of see a different rendition of this car that's not really done in Lego too much. I haven't, me personally, and looking around Google, I have not seen, other than the pictures of the mock on Rebrickable, I have not seen anyone have a Lego version of the 1A. And like I said, when I build that car, it's not going to be 100% perfect because I don't have the Ghoul logo with the peace sign for Ghostbusters 2. I don't have some of that stuff, some of their call numbers and stuff that's supposed to be on the car. So I'll have to kind of track that stuff down at a later date. But if we can get the car built with all the details, it'll look really cool either way. So. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the build. I really enjoyed the build. This is super cool. This is how this particular car is going to stay. Don't have to worry about tearing it apart again, so that's good. And we can move on to the next. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the Ecto-1 series, and hopefully you are looking forward to the Ecto-1A series. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Sorry it's a little on the long side, but I just wanted to show off everything on this as a whole. Really cool. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed the video, and until next time, take care.